Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Megan Miller,
And I'm Joe Smith.
and this is We'll Decide Wednesday, a special feature of the Do Better podcast. We're excited to see what our topic is going to be today. Joe, do you think we need to explain the wheel, or do you think we've done it enough times that we could probably skip that part?
I think we've done enough times that we can just skip it. If
Okay.
anyone has questions, go back to our first podcast episode
You can
and
find
listen
it
to,
easily.
to go back in depth and like why we're doing it and what we do every
Yeah.
week.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to go ahead and spin it then.
All right, let's go.
We're starting to get to the point where we need some new topics though, so people. Ooh, right there on the work music. It's funny because if we get the gym music, y'all are gonna find out that my work music and my gym music are basically the same. So, all right, Joe went first last time, so I'll go first this time.
Yes.
Feel free to comment in the chat what kind of work music you like to have, and if anyone from the collective would like to share vocally when we're done, you can definitely do that. I'm not sure this is going to take 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so we'll see.
We'll see.
Okay, so for my work music, I mostly have used in the background the website Pandora, which I think is pretty funny because I started listening to Pandora when it very first came out in like the early 2000s. So I've been using this for work music since my college job of sitting in the computer lab at FSU. And I would have that on in my headphones in the background while people came in and checked in and out of the computer lab. And that has just carried over with me for like over 15 years, I guess. I can't remember exactly when Pandora started, but I definitely remember sitting in that computer lab listening to it. But I already had accounts prior to that. So I don't know if it was in undergrad that it started or when they first came out. But Pandora was like the greatest thing ever because we all were using like illegal downloads with like LimeWire and crap like that, and you'd always be worried, like you were starting to hear these stories of like the feds coming and like people getting arrested and things like that, so you were like should I do this or not? So Pandora was like the best answer to that. If for those of you that aren't familiar with Pandora, you can create your own station. So that used to be what I did. I had, not surprisingly, I had a Weezer station. And then I had a Tracy Chapman station, and I think I had like a 50 Cent station. And so those, like, I named them based off of like the main, what they would do is have you pick like one artist, and then you put in like, so for the Weezer station, I put in mostly Weezer, but then other like alternative songs. And then for Tracy Chapman, I'm not really sure what she's considered, but I put in her songs and like similar. And then for 50 Cent, it was like other like hip hop type songs. But then what it does is it pulls from your preferences and then you'll play other songs in those same like realms. And then you can like the song or dislike the song. And then if you dislike it, it doesn't ever play it again. And it sort of figures out, what your preferences are. But now they have, I don't know, a long time ago, they started doing their own channels. So I mostly just listen to the top hits station. And yeah, somehow I talked for 2 minutes and 30 seconds about Pandora. That's my work music.
Nice. I mean, I think that's very easily. I mean, music, you can go on and talk about it. So, so Leslie and I both at the same time, we have brilliant minds, and we thought about doing this at the same time. But Pandora officially launched September of 2005.
Okay, so it was when I started grad school. All right. Yep. So almost 16 years ago.
Don't remind me. Like, I graduated high school in 2003. Yeah. Like, that's way too long. All right. So I don't have anyone else in the chat that stated about like what kind of work music they like.
I have a couple of comments on Facebook.
Okay.
Jenna Lee says she loves Tracy Chapman, and my mom said Tracy Chapman was ahead of her time. And Jenna Lee said she has a similar playlist or had a similar playlist. And Crystal says, I'm old. I'm not really sure what that has to do with anything. I don't think you're old, Crystal, but so she said John Mayer, Jack Johnson, and Dave Matthews when I'm mellow.
Yes. Awesome. All right. So Megan, should I go next or should we open up to like our collective?
You can go and then we'll see
All right.
what's
All
up.
right. So I will set my timer for 2 minutes and 30 seconds if I can get to my timer. Of course, like whenever I go into my cell phone now, like now I don't even see where the app is at anymore.
The timer?
Yeah, for the timer. Because I decided to change everything up.
Well, that was silly of you.
Yeah. It is silly of me. So it's all right. I can talk. 7:43. All right. So work music for me. I have a fond memory of creating playlists, like on the weekend when I was single, just for work. And I have a similar vibe whenever it's work music related because I like coffee house music. That's the best way I can describe it. So the songs I tend to listen to is like Dave Matthews Band, Jack Mayer's good. No, Jack Johnson, John. I'm a huge fan of Adele. Like, let me be in my classroom till about 8 o'clock at night, sitting there cutting out my super like 50-yard length laminate roll of stuff because I decided to laminate everything because my kids like to rip everything. So, and I'm sitting there cutting and I'm belting out sounds, if you call it that way, I mean, call it sounds, but like belting out music notes from Adele on top of my lungs. And here comes my janitor walking down the hallway. It's like, Joe, what are you still doing here? I was like, working? It's like, no, you're hurting my ears. You need to go home. So I love Adele. I love Dave Matthews Band. AJR is a new band that I kind of really like just listening to. And I have a thing for like show tunes. Like I love show tunes. Like definitely Hamilton. I can't sing Hamilton just because it's super fast, but I love Hamilton. Phantom of the Opera, Glee. I'm a huge Glee. So whenever that was popular, I was listening to them sing the songs that are already popular over time, but they're just singing in their version. So Journey is another big one too. Love Journey. And I think my time's up, Megan.
All right, cool. So we have in the chat, Khadijah said, I'm an old school Pandora listener too. For work, I like chill rock stations, the Black Keys, Alabama Shakes, Fiona Apple, Hozier, Paolo Nutini, and then coffee house music. Yes, exactly, Joe. It's so funny because as I was reading those off, I was like, well, this sounds a lot like what Joe just said.
So funny thing, Fiona Apple, I love her first album that came out. That was like my jam. Like I just love listening to her music, especially Criminal. I love that song, and Incubus too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember Criminal. I don't know if I remember Incubus.
Incubus isn't a song, it's a band.
Oh, the band. I thought you were saying that she sang a song called Incubus. No. And I was like, I know the band. But
okay. Yeah, the band is amazing.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to go listen to them in concert. Like they sound exactly like they do in this CD.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'd want to see them in concert. That'd be scary. I feel like. So Jenna Lee said, yes, Fiona Apple. and I love Adele too. And Crystal also loves Adele. She said Adele is the queen. My mom is wondering if there are any David Bowie fans in the house or Phantom of the Opera. I think the Phantom of the Opera might have been related when you said show tunes.
Show tunes.
And then there's just people agreeing with the different bands you were saying. So
yeah. I mean, the closest song that I can get to, like with Bowie, is what's that song? That's calling to Ground Patrol.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Mr.
Leslie's got it, I think, but she's on
Major Tom.
Yeah,
Major Tom. That's it.
Yeah. So Cindy said Bowie, yes, and Khadijah said my kids love Bowie. And Khadijah also said my first job ever was Starbucks, and that was around the Pandora time. I think it shaped my music preferences.
Yeah. Starbucks so that's the thing that I love about Starbucks, is definitely has that really cool vibe where it's perfectly set up for you to stay for hours. So you can stay there for hours, and then not only do you stay there for hours, but you also buy multiple cups of coffee and then food. I think actually I talked to you about this podcast idea. I mean, back when I was like a BSBA and I was in a Starbucks. So you could say that it creates a great atmosphere for creative minds.
Yeah. I don't know. I always feel so overwhelmed when I go into a Starbucks. Like there's not enough seats. I don't know what I'm ordering. It's super stressful. Like I just want coffee that doesn't taste like coffee. And I want to find a seat with a plug. That's it.
Yes. A seat with a plug.
Oh, Cindy says they'll let you bring your own food to Starbucks. Leslie, Khadijah, Cindy, and I think Sergio's on. Did any of you want to talk on the microphone about your work playlist? I know everybody's been chiming in on the chat, but just to see. Khadijah said her kids are being very loud. Crystal likes the song Bowie did for A Knight's Tale. And my mom says you need to look up Diamond Dogs by Bowie. Joe, okay. She wants you to look up Diamond Dogs.
Diamond Dogs. I'll have to look that up. Yep.
All right. Well, it is 7:50 and we have to get on. I know you all want to go get ready for social time with me. So well, if you're in the collective, I'll hopefully see you in about 10 minutes for our bonus weekly meeting with Megan. We don't actually, it's a rare week. We don't have any other events going on the rest of this week. I am doing a Defy Lounge with the Defy community tomorrow for the Oh Hey BCBAs at 9 p.m. my time. But other than that, we don't have any other events going on this week. So I'll be sending out an email, obviously, with all of the like April events coming up and information on that. Just as a reminder, the Reading to Action group, I'll be posting the article announcement tomorrow, hopefully. But we switched it to the second Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern. So update your calendars accordingly. I still need to make the invites on my end, but yeah. All right. Well, hopefully I'll see everybody soon. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys.
Bye,
Go forth
everyone.
to do better.